Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. Today is July 7th. I think I actually said that yesterday was July 7th in my video yesterday, coming off the holiday. So that's my bad. Today is actually July 7th, and we're going to take a look at the markets today and talk quickly about some of the levels that I traded yesterday in our chat room on Discord, and then we'll talk about levels for today. So yesterday was pretty straightforward today. I felt like I mismanaged a couple early trades, but overall came out of the day profitable, so that's always good. Just felt like I could have been more profitable than it was. So basically, we started the day with an early sell-off. That was not a big surprise. We had that huge rally on Friday and kind of knew there were some levels down here to get tested. Now, I had pointed out in yesterday's video this sort of high volume area right in here. And I was looking to trade off of this level. And I'll show you kind of what happened there. Let me make this a different color so that we know what level that is. So I did end up taking a trade off that level, and I think I just could have managed it better. So I had my stop pretty far down. I think I probably could have put my stop like more under the high volume, and then taken a quicker profit, or at the very least, I could have just gotten out of this trade quicker, because what happened was we came down, and we actually get the level where I had it yesterday. Bear with me one second, folks. So as we get zoomed in a little bit, took my trade somewhere around here, and essentially, so that was the level, that teal line coming off this high volume zone. And as we were selling off, I went long, basically got in, to the tick, and had plenty of opportunity to take profit here. And I had my target. I was really expecting this to come back up and test some of these higher levels, but it was a pretty strong selling action yesterday. So I should have been a little bit quicker to take profit. And so my stop was actually way down here. These lows here missed my stop by one tick. And at that point, what I probably should have done is just gotten out break even. I had plenty of chance to get out break even here, and I didn't. And what I wish I would have done, I was still in the trade, so I wasn't looking for new entries. But if you look at this was a beautiful short entry as we pushed through that level with this strong price action here. That would have been a sign to take this from the underside for a short. And that probably would have been one of the best trades of the day right there. So that would have been really, really good. So I ended up taking full loss on that trade. I could have definitely managed that better. Price kind of came down, and I think it was right about in here. It was either here or here. I took another short, and that one ended up being a winner. I think it was this one actually here. So we kind of came down, did some chopping around, came up. This was a level based off of volumes that accumulated in here. It was very small, but there were volumes accumulating in there. Got that short, beautiful, took almost no heat on that. And again, this one, I took profit on it around here when price was stalling, because I was a little bit, shaken up by the fact that I didn't take profit on this one and ended up taking a loss on it. I wish I would have just let this one run, or at the very least, I could have just tightened my stop and would have been just fine. And I would have still had my stop in profit, but could have actually taken full profit on the trade. So I did take profit on it. I got about half of what the potential profit would have been. I took about 3 points on the ES. So that one worked out good. This trade down here really annoyed me because this was the level I was kind of waiting for all day. If we look at this on the 30-minute, this was again where there was just a ton of volume accumulating right through in here. A lot of volume accumulated in here. And essentially, I had my stop just a little tight, and my stop got taken out. I believe my stop was, right at that low there. And if you look at the volume, there was another little tiny volume peak just below that maybe I could have thought to put my stop below that, but because that seems to be what price reacted off of. So my stop was just a little bit too tight. I got taken out by one tick, but you can see that was basically the bottom of the day. So that level ultimately worked out really well. And then as price was showing signs of bottoming there and showing signs of accumulation, I was looking for, a long entry to get in, but the price just never came back. I really wanted to come back and test some of this stuff. Just never came back. Stalled a little bit at this previous level where we took the short earlier. No big deal there. And then this same level that I sort of mismanaged the trade and then missed this short became another key level here. We reacted to the bottom of it, but then you can see when we pushed through, we came right back down, tested it from the top side again. This was a really significant level, and then moved up into the rest of the day. I took one last trade, which was basically off this level right here. This was the big distribution level that led to this massive sell-off. And so I was just sort of here waiting. I didn't take this trade blindly. I wasn't actually planning on taking it, but I happened to be at my computer and I was watching it. And basically when I saw this tail form, I think I might have been on a 1 minute chart at the time. And when I saw that tail form, yeah, there it is. Right here, that gave me the confidence to jump in the trade. I just put a limit order right at the level, got filled, put my stop above there, and just took it. I got out on this big candle, just took a quick scalp to the downside there. That put me back in profit for the day. Ultimately, my original target would have been a little bit lower on this trade, but it would have actually gotten filled after the close during that little bit of post-market trading. So I'm pretty happy to just sort of, especially this close to the end of the day, to just kind of get in and get out. So that was yesterday, right? That was yesterday's action and how we played the levels. And again, I'm going to keep this level down here because it's such a heavy volume level. This level I feel like is sort of done and over with. We really kind of had our fun there. And we'll just kind of get to what's fresh. So we've got a bunch of levels for today that we want to be aware of. So this level in here, this 43.3175, just this little bit of after the market closed, a little bit of accumulation there, and then this aggressive move up from there. So if we come down and test that, that would not be terribly surprising. I believe that's actually pretty close to yesterday's point of control as well. And yeah, right around yesterday's point of control as well. So would not be surprised for that level to get tested. But it may be sort of done and over with because we see a lot of price action around that level. So that may be done and over with, but we certainly could gravitate back down there, depending especially on where we open. If we open above yesterday's value, then I think we're ready for another rally here. This level that I took the short off of, you can see we kind of tested it from the upside, so I'm not really sure how interested I am in that level anymore. And same thing kind of down here, right? These levels off here. So right now, based on the chart, we've still got this same level. I do think if we come to this again, you can at least expect price to stall. So at least this would be a good take profit level if you're short down here around 43.09, or even 43.10 if you're short. Maybe that's a good take profit level if price does decide to pull back a little bit. I personally wouldn't mind a pullback. I'd like to load up a little bit more in my long-term positions, but I need a pullback in order to do that. So as far as other levels are concerned, let's just take a look really quick. Did a little bit of poking around early this morning, but throughout here, there's not a lot that's really notable. This was a pretty strong trend. You've got this little bit of accumulation that occurred here, so we might just be aware of a little bit of a pause if price comes down to this level. We might just be aware of a pause there. Again, just these little high volume areas that we may expect some amount of support to be formed if the market does continue to come down. And they're pretty evenly spaced. Look at that. So we got 43.31 is just sort of this current consolidation that, and yesterday's point of control that I think that level could be spent at this point. Same thing, this one here, it's been tested. 43.2750. It's already been tested, so just be careful on that one. And then these ones, they're just not that significant, honestly. So we've got 43.2325. Actually, just some sort of apt to make these a little bit darker, just because they're just not that significant to me. And this one here, same deal. Just make it a little bit darker. And and that's at 43.19. These are just little areas where if you look at the smaller time frames, you'll see that there was some, small accumulations in there. This was just kind of getting over this hump, right? This was support that became resistance. Nice little trade off of there that we took, and then created that little bit of a stall there. So if we come back there, we could expect a little bit of test, a little bit of accumulation here before buyers came in aggressively on that candle. And, just stuff to be aware of there. But I think really this is going to be one of those days where mostly I just want to see how we open up. This was pretty significant volume accumulation up in this area. And if we look at it, this is really, price is just kind of stalling there. We could even just take this whole thing because there's probably some larger time frame players here. So we've got, a pretty significant level right here with basically like our real volume is all essentially right there. That's where the volume really comes in. Probably want to stop above there. So, we're kind of sitting in this resistance right now. I really probably want to see price get above this before I consider going long. And then if we do start coming back down, we would just be looking to test some of these other areas, particularly this one here where we were accumulating volume kind of on this rotation here. Be definitely interested in some sort of reaction there. The tough thing I think about this one is, do we consider this entire rotation, right? Which gives us a kind of a different price level to trade off of. Of course, this looks like it got tested. Or do we consider just this smaller thing? I'm kind of more apt to just consider the smaller thing and then keep a relatively tight stop under here if I'm going to do it. But that's kind of a big if, honestly. I probably would be more inclined to just look for other price action because we do have some of these other levels down here. Again, this level did get tested already, so probably going to discard that one. And because we see that we got some pretty nice price action off those levels already. So yeah, it's a little bit dicey, I think, taking a trade off this level. I think I'd rather just expect a reversal, go to a lower time frame, look for price action somewhere in this highlighted area, which kind of goes from 43.33 down to 43.29. Again, those aren't exact levels, just sort of in that area. Look for some form of reaction. I might even go up to here because we've got this. Even though this did get tested already, we might test it from the upside. And then look for a bullish reversal from there. Otherwise, if we fall through that, again, maybe start looking for shorts, targeting these areas down here as a potential take profit level. And that'll probably be my plan for the day on the ES. Of course, if we break down there, we also could be testing. This lines up right with the point of control from yesterday. So this level here, I think, would actually be a more interesting level than the one above it. So I'll look at that one probably more than anything. This 43.19, that seems to be a pretty good thing. And then the other thing would just be down here. This was a pretty strong rejection of the lower prices down here. And, whatever volume accumulated down here is still right at that same level. So I think that level's still significant too. If we do continue to fall down, definitely interested in this level down here. Again, this 43.0925. So those are kind of the big ones I'm looking at. And like I said, this one's a little bit wishy-washy, but this level down here and this level down here, I think will be great targets to the downside if we're going to chop around a little bit, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Again, I'm looking for long-term and swing entries. And right now, on a 4-hour chart, I mean, we've just been raging. This was a nice entry down here that I missed, which is a little bit of a bummer, because that was the one that I got stopped out by literally one tick, and that was just a beautiful entry to go long. So yeah, kind of next up we'll be looking for a pullback down into this consolidation or this consolidation down here. So lots to play with, lots to see kind of what happens. And, on the bigger picture daily chart, I mean, we've just been on a tear. So a little bit of sideways consolidation wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, or even a bit of a pullback. I'd love to test some of these lower levels and load up on my long-term positions as we, hopefully just continue and rally similar to the way we have in the past here. But this is a nice, strong rally. So hopefully you guys were in some long-term stuff to take advantage of that move. Yeah, I think that's all I got for today, guys. Hope you have a good trading day. If you want to join us, dpmtrades.com. Just click on community, click on join the free Discord room, and trade in there virtually every day. I will be sort of in and out today. I have some meetings I've got to take, but I will be posting levels in the chat room that I find interesting, and I'll probably have some trades that I put on as well. So good luck trading. Hope we see you guys in the chat room, and we'll catch up with you later.